In Bitcoin, the weekly XRP zone still holding, and what's interesting about this, if you look at let's look at this one, it's GDAX. We had the low triggered over here, and if I'm not mistaken, we had the weekly low triggered as well. So let me just give me a second while I clean this up. You've got this low over here, and well, we got really close to that. Some exchanges, I believe, did trigger that low, but you can see at least doing a wash and rinse of this previous low holding the OP. So could be that we've did a wash and rinse of the bottom of this consolidation to now head back the other way again. Keep a very close eye on this low. If we break that, then we could be on our way towards the lower support level. So very important low that formed this past week, and if we push back up, monitor the next daily buy signal for follow through. If we take out the low, we could test down into this lower support area. In Bitcoin, we know the weekly XRP holding, looking a bit like a wash and rinse of that support. Our monthly trend, if you look at that, still in a buy. So we need to watch what happens this month of July. If we rally quite hard, we could move away from the sell signal, but otherwise the sell signal approaching quite steeply at the current levels. Looking at your daily, you can see the wash and rinse low holding. We pulled back towards it, bouncing again back into a buy, approaching to support. It seems like it's gaining a bit of traction again. Ultimately still stuck in this sideways box, with the XRP now on the daily shown at the top end of this resistance again. You can see pulling a bit back from this OP zone, and then, as I said, you've got your XRP higher up. So this is going to be interesting. Let's keep an eye on the wash and rinse low. That's still the key level, and then if we can hold that, we could try to gain some traction to the upside again. And if we break that, of course, you need to look towards higher levels. But for now, key levels still the wash and rinse low. Below it, you've got a bit of support and also a new ABC down that you can watch. There you go. You can see the OP down at those areas. But for now, monitor the daily to see if we can follow through to the upside on this buy signal to try and test back to the XRP area at 40,300. Bitcoin still resting on the quarterly support. You've got a weekly trend creeping closer than our daily. We're watching this low that formed the wash and rinse low of the weekly XRP support, and interesting to see a bit of a stopgap develop here on Friday. So let's see if we can continue a potential push higher towards the highs and take out this 36,600 level. You've got the XRP back at the consolidation highs, and also a new ABC developing. So that's your resistance, but looks like it's still stuck in the zone. Very important low, this 29,200. Let's keep an eye on that. Bitcoin still hovering on the support. We're watching the weekly wash and rinse low. We do have more support lower down, so let's keep an eye on that. There's your lower support on the daily. There's your wash and rinse low, and no follow through further on the buy. The sell gaining a little bit of momentum, but really just still stuck between support and resistance. We need to take out these lows if the market is to really try to sell off and test lower levels down to 25,000. So let's keep an eye on that. Good levels down here that we need to watch. If we break that, then of course the market can sell off to lower support. In Bitcoin, the market came within a few ticks, basically, well, ticks for Bitcoin, within that wash and rinse low. It's not surprising to see this push back up. That's usually what happens from a wash and rinse low. You don't want to see that low get taken out. If it does, we do have this lower support zone as target. For now, a daily buy confirmed. Let's watch this for follow through. And if the market wants to rally away from this low, I would expect good dynamic pressure on this one in the next few days. There's your resistance levels. So basically still consolidating. We need to see which way it can break out. We're seeing a buy signal from the bottom end and support. It's also our weekly zone. So let's see if the market can show some strength on this new buy signal. In Bitcoin, we're seeing a weekly trend change coming up. above 36,300 this week. So let's keep an eye on that. It could bring in more buying in Bitcoin, but for now we've reached the XOP nicely, doing a pullback from there. And let's look at our support. You can see testing the F3 support and holding. So we created a double stop grabber buy on Wednesday and Thursday, so this could follow through today on Friday. Let's monitor that. And if we do break above this resistance zone, you've got a new ABC up looking like this with COP and OP. And this area standing out as the next big level. So let's see, it's going to get interesting. It's neutral territory. If it does slip into a sell and can't break resistance, you can track this new ABC down as well. But for now, stop grabbers in play. Let's see if that can follow through today, and more resistance higher up. But a nice, I would say, never easy, but easy trade up to the XOP. Now kind of wait and see for me. I'm looking to see if this market can give a bit more info and start to get out of this longer term consolidation zone. Bitcoin confirming the weekly buy with good follow through. Target likely this agreement area 51,200. So let's keep an eye on that. The daily, you can see revisiting the F3. That was actually, I believe, was it on Monday? Yes. And again pushing away from the trend over here. So you've got more resistance, 505.37 just before that agreement zone. If we look at our weekly 396, so we can move this up a little. That's your big next resistance level. And any pullback likely going to be a buy on the daily for a move up. So let's calculate our support on this daily chart. At the moment looking like that, so a bit of a confluence zone. If we can do a pullback, probably a buying opportunity for a continued move up into that 50,500, 51,400 resistance area. Bitcoin continuing the uptrend on the weekly, likely going to test this resistance zone. We had a very shallow pullback this week with the daily sell. If we quickly look at that, you've got the focus reaction looking like this, with a very small 3-bar ABC showing agreement. So not surprising to see the market rally from there. Just want to redo that now. We've got a nice focus reaction confluence zone still low down with some stop grabbers forming. So let's see if there's any weakness on the stop grabber, maybe a trend push down, and that could try and take the market down to this low if we gain some traction for a potential test of confluence, which might be a nice buying spot given the strong weekly uptrend. Then you've got your resistance higher up, maybe we still want to test that. So I'm more inclined to rather want to buy Bitcoin unless you see some weakness. Look at your lower time frame resistance for potential selling. But nice trade would be to get into support if we haven't tested this resistance yet. In Bitcoin, we talked about the stop grabber potentially taking the market down, basically sideways movement on that. So moving deeper into resistance, if we go up to our weekly chart, we can see the resistance zone, and that's likely going to get tested. Key level to watch this area on Bitcoin. Of course, it needs to break that if it is to rally again. So keep a very close eye on this area. More resistance levels on the daily, and then just quickly our support levels. If we refresh that, you can see confluence down around the 42,600. So that's the key support and resistance levels. I would say we need to keep a very close eye on this 51,300 area. That's the one Bitcoin needs to break if it really wants to move up into next resistance levels. Bitcoin doing a good pullback from the agreement resistance. Just quickly line that up nicely for you to see. And then our support levels now on the weekly, we can do a new ABC down looking like this, and as well as your focus reaction. So we've gone down to the confluence zone, and we've bounced from there. It's also oversold. Not surprising to see the market bounce from that level. This market just continues to trade really well on the DiNapoli levels. Let's refresh our resistance now with this new sell-off. There you go. And you'll be looking for ABCs
up if the weekly trend can continue upwards. But for me, I'm kind of on the side now. It's gotten up to resistance, pull down to support, bounce. Preferably, I would like to see a deeper pullback, but I mean, this was already a good buying spot, this confluence zone. So it could be that we see this zone hold and the weekly trend start to kick back into a bullish mode to take the market higher. But ultimately, I would like to see some kind of ABC down into lower support levels to retry another longer term long position. So you've got the weekly trend still up. You can see a lot of room for now. Keep an eye on support.